Okay, so I'm on a roll. So in this, I want to talk about empaths and kind of safeguarding ourselves against going beyond our limits and our capacity in that moment or in that day. So empaths are very intuitive. We're very responsive to the world around us. We pick up on all the vibes and all the energy. And, some of us, like myself, it's an emotional thing. I pick up the emotional experiences of people very quickly. Other people, it's the physical, element. And so this is kind of a broad idea of something that I can only relate to through the emotional exchanges that I have. But what I'll say is this. If you are an empath, before you start to kind of go into somebody else's aid to help them, is to first ask, am I up for this? Stop and just assess. And this is a bit of a triage thing. So if I am not feeling it, I've noticed if I try to engage with somebody else in their experience and their challenges and their suffering, and I try to come in and try to help because I feel this and I want to help and this is my nature, I've noticed that I'm not helping at all. I'm not helping them. I'm not helping myself. I think that empaths, and I'll speak for myself certainly, my energy is incredibly tactile. Like people can feel this. Like they feel it like it's like something being handed to them, like a physical object. I've had many people be able to articulate that, and it's been very, very helpful. But what I'll say is that's important information because I think many other empaths that were like this, that we not only take in a lot of energy, but we give out a lot of energy. And that's why people feel better when they're in our care. But I've noticed that if I am not in a good place for that care to be offered for somebody else, if I don't have it within me, if I need it myself, if I'm having a rough day, having a rough time, if I'm not feeling this person that day, whatever it is, it could be a multitude of factors. But I just ask myself, am I up for this? Because when I try to help somebody and I'm not in that space, it comes across, I can be very overcorrective. I can be very judgmental. I can be very harsh. And I know that that's not what this person necessarily needs, but it's because I want to just deal with it and be done with it so I can move on and go back to myself and go back to my own needs. So what I started to do, if I notice that I'm picking up on somebody and I can feel the vibes, they're having a hard time, depending on the capacity that I have, I might ask a very simple, are you okay? I don't have much in me, but are you okay? And sometimes that can be enough to help somebody keep them afloat. But if I ask myself that question, am I up for this? And I hear no, I back off immediately and I just don't ask. This might seem calloused, but what it really is it's self-care. And unfortunately, self-care means that you can't always care for somebody else in that moment. And that is something that I feel as empaths we have to deeply acknowledge because we overextend ourselves far too often with people. And then we're trying to take care of everybody else and we're not being taken care of at all. And I've suffered greatly because of that. And I've decided I'm not doing that anymore. I'm not blindly nurturing and trying to care for others. And so asking myself, am I up for this? Stops me in my tracks and makes me assess very clearly. And it gets easier the more I do it because in the beginning it was very hard. I didn't know what I wanted. I didn't know what I needed. And so the more I ask myself this question, the easier it gets. And the more clearly I can see the separation. I can see that this person over there is having their experience. I can see that I'm sitting over here having my experience. And I can see more clearly, can I help? Or am I going to hinder? Am I going to cause any kind of harm unintentionally? Any of those side effects of not really being in that right space. So that's it. As simple as, am I up for this? Ask it before you offer help to somebody else because you might need every ounce of effort you have today. Okay? Much love, big heart. Thank you for being you.